If you ask me personally, we will always go with controller only, not with XML. Okay, that is the means. I'll tell you what is the reason that we have to go with controller. When you go with XML, you cannot control that service call. Okay, you cannot control that service call. By default, it will hit the backend and it will read the data. But there can be the certain cases, right? You only want to read the data on the certain conditions. Before that, it should not read the data. But if you're directly assigning the entity set, by default, it will call the service and it will read the data. That behavior you cannot control. So for that only, we always go with controller part. Okay. So within this controller,
You means validation, right? For every
yes,
validation, you
yes.
have to show.
Yes. Now tell me, now the basic validation is if user is that one, then only I have to make a service call. Okay. Based on the user, I want to make a service call and only that specific data I want to read. But this condition, you can't do it from the XML. In XML, as soon as you bind the entity set name, by default, it will call the service. Okay. So that is one major reason that we never go with XML in rare case. Like simply, if you want to do the normal binding of drop downs or something like that, yes, you can go with the normal this one. You can directly do the binding in the XML itself. But if you want to read the data based on certain service calls, based on certain validations, then don't bind directly the entity set in the XML. Don't bind it. Go with controller only. Okay, so now here I'll just call one method on read emp data. So this is my method, and now I'll just add on read emp data. It's a function. Now within this, first we need to get the oData model. How to get that? This dot get owner component dot get model. Okay, so as it is a default model, so we don't have to provide a model name inside the get model. Now from oData model, we have to read. Okay, so how to read the how to trigger the get HTTP method. So to trigger the get HTTP method with the help of oData model, so there is one method called read. Go to API reference and search for oData model of version v2 because the oData service that we have integrated, it's of version v2. So refer oData model of version v2. And now here there will be one method called read. Okay, can you see this read method? So that is the read method which will trigger get HTTP method. See, it will trigger a get request to oData service that was specified in the model constructor. Now this is the method. Now within this method, we have two parameters. One is the S path and second is the M parameters. So first add this read method. So O model dot read. And now inside this, we have a two parameter. First is the S path. So S path is nothing but a path of entity set. And how to define that? So this is which is the entity set? Employee set. Copy that. Give double quotes, give slash, and then give employee set. So specifying slash is important. Without this, your data will not be read. Okay, it won't fetch the details. This will simply throw the error. So make sure to specify slash. What we have already done in XML. Slash employee set. Same we have to do it in slash employee set in case of controller. Okay, now give comma. What is the second parameter? Second parameter is nothing but it is an object. Okay, first parameter was string. That's why we added that path inside the string. Second parameter is object. Now, second parameter object means we have to specify this opening and closing curly brackets. Now within this, if I want to pass filter, I'll pass it afterwards. So first of all, how to get that data? How to get that data and which parameter will return that data? So for that, we have two famous callback functions here. One is success, one is error. Okay, one is success and one is error. So this success and error callback function we have to define. Okay, and this will return, and this success function, this callback function will carry response data. Okay, And now give comma, error will carry, if some error is there, so this error will carry error details. Okay, so I will add debugger keyword in both the cases. Now this time our application will make two service call, because from XML already one service call is happening, and again it will call one more same service in from the controller. Okay, so 1 second. See, by default I have a debugger now. Second. Yeah. So can you see two service call happened, right? One is from the XML side and one is from the controller side. So when you go to the source, so see, I have a breakpoint directly inside 18 line number. And when we hover on this response, can we see the results 1 or 2? See, we have the data like this. We are getting the data which we have, which we are calling. Okay. Now this data, we have to bind it back to the table. And how to bind that? Same, very simple. So first of all, we have to store this data. Now, if you see, this data is available inside the results, right? O response dot results, then only we have this array records. So I'll do one thing here. I'll write JSON model. I'll specify JSON model here. I'll write new sap.ui.model.json.json model. Okay. And now, as we already have a function inside the function, I have to do bind this. Okay. So here, what I will do, I'll call this OJSON model dot set data, and inside the set data, I'll pass O response dot results. And now this JSON model, I have to set it on the view. This dot get view. Set model. OJSON model, comma. I'll write employee data model. That's it. So this is the process that we have to follow in case of controller. Okay. So we created the constructor for JSON model. We stored some data inside the JSON model with the help of set data method of JSON model. And now we have to finally we have to set this model on the view with the help of the syntax. Okay. And what is the model name? Employee data model. Now what all changes we have to do? So I'll just copy this code. I'll comment this, and below I will add a new table code. And now here, the changes that I have to do is, this is our model, greater than sign, slash. What we have to do, nothing we have to add, just keep it as it is. Employee data model, give greater than sign, slash. And now here, everywhere we have to bind the model name. Okay, so guys, this is what the syntax we have to do. And now let's go back here, and now let's reload. Okay, so the table which the code that we commented, it was reading directly from the oData. So now instead of that, it will read the data from the controller side. Okay, see, this is the response. and we set that data. Now inside the JSON model, we have that data now. So if you go here, we have 2 records in this. And now finally, we have to set that model on the view. See, still I have the same response. But the difference is when we bind it through the XML, that entity set, at that time, you can see one busy indicator, right? But you can't see when you do it from the controller side. So that is one default behavior when we do the actual OData binding. Okay. See, you can't see any busy indicator. Simply, we have to see a blank screen at the start. And after that, after a couple of milliseconds, a data will appear. But this is only for the 2 records. But what if we have more than 300 or 500 or 1,000 records? In that case, user have to wait for at least couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, just to data to arrive. So the best way is add busy indicator. Okay, so go in controller, and before you make a read call, just define one busy dialog and just add sap.m.busy dialog, which is a control. And now inside the busy dialog, see, you go to the API, you busy dialog, you go to properties, and now here you can just add a title and text. Whatever you want to add, you can add that. So let's say I'm adding a title. So the title would be loading data. What should be the text? Is wet. Okay, so this would be the text. And now we simply have to open busy dialog. Okay, so open that busy dialog before reading, and we have to close that busy dialog. We have to close that busy dialog inside success and inside the error. Means if error is occurring, then in that case also we have to close. That's it. Now let's see the output. Can you see now? Okay, so this is the best way, or this is the best practice that we always have to do whenever you integrate any OData service in UI5 application. So always add a busy indicator. So that is the best way to do that. See, so at least you got it. So how to read a single record? This is just to read a multiple records. Single records reading is very simple. Just add like this, and dynamically you can pass a parameter here. Let's say EMP ID is 101. Then how you can pass that data? You can just do like this. S EMP ID. Okay, that's it. Just you have to do that. See, it will read only single. No, it's not reading. Let me check. What is the problem? The problem would be when we read a single record at that time, results won't be available. See, I'll show you now. When we read a single record at that time, results will not come. Okay, that is the reason we have. Okay, so okay. Now let's go to response. Can you see? There is no results. Directly I'm getting a single object. Okay, so at least you got it. This is the problem when we read a single record. So in case of single record results, this response dot results won't work. Okay, so I'll copy this. I'll comment this out so that you can refer this, and I'll go with the normal one. Guys, any questions for reading a data? Any questions here? Now let's add a filter and sorter. Okay, let's add a filter and sorter. Let's see how we can add a filter and sorter from the controller side. So to add a filter and sorter here, so I guess we already discussed this, right? How to create a
Yes,
filter and all.
yes, yes, yes. Filter
Yeah, same
instance we
way.
have to create. Yeah.
Yes, a filter cp.ui.model.filter. And now here, first parameter is, let's say I want to pass based on EMP ID. So this is the ID what we have. EMP ID, give comma, and then just add a equal to sign, and I'll just pass a value as 101. So this is my filter. And now if where I can pass that filter before success, just add a filters array and give O filter. Okay, O filter, EMP ID EQ 101. That's it. So this is how we need to pass a filter. Now see, it's reading a single record. Let me reload and show you once again. Okay, so guys, for today only we'll cover only this much. Like remaining CRUD operation will complete it tomorrow. Okay, so it should not stretch more now.
Okay.
That's it. So if you want, you can give a try and let me know like if you are trying it tomorrow. Okay, see, this is the filter in which we passed EMP ID EQ 101. And if we read, we'll only get a single record from that. Okay, only single record I'm getting in results. So, and that results only I'm just finding it on the screen. That's why I'm getting a single record. And if we go to $badge inside payload, you can see this record. You can see this filter passing. $filter equal to EMP ID. Okay. Any questions here, guys? The things that we covered today so far.
So 101. So in the oData service, we can pass
Mhm.
multiple values also, right? 101 comma 102.
Like filters?
And not filters, just getting the data.
No, 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 no. For getting the data, like either you read it from employee set, or let's say if you want to read a data from multiple records, we should never pass like that 101 comma 10, not like that. We have to create two different filters for that, and we have to merge this two filters in a single filter, and then you can pass.
Okay.
Okay, but directly like
Not from
101,
not
no,
from
no,
here
that
in the oData. In the oData,
in oData where in this,
you are getting single record, right? So
right,
here,
I'm getting single record.
if I want to get two records, something like if I want to get the two
For
records,
that, we have to add a logic for dollar top, then dollar top equal to 2. So it will get only
okay,
initial two records.
like
Okay.
101, 102, we cannot get it. Something like
No,
that.
no, no, no. Likewise, we can't get it. You can get it. Then in that case, we have to add two different filters then. And then we have to add a OR condition. So I'll show you that. So let's say I'm creating one more filter here. New SAP.ui. 102 if it is there. And now what we have to do, we have to create one more filter, and in which will basically, again, we have to same model dot filter. And now inside this, we have to pass filters colon array. And here I will pass O filter, sorry, like this. And there will be one AND operator. I'll say false. So it will be passed in OR condition. Okay, and this O fill, I will pass it here. So likewise, you can add, you can call a condition. You can, I mean, the combination that you can make based on AND and OR.
Okay.
See, am I getting now 2 records? Now, if you go to the network, so probably we should be able to see 2 filters are getting passed in OR condition. Let's hold on. Okay, so in this, if you see, can you see the condition here? Filter equal to EMP ID EQ101 or, see, this is the OR, and after that EMP ID EQ102. So likewise, we have passed 2 filters. Okay, so make sure that like at the end, find, see, you can create multiple filters, but at the end we need a single filter only. And within that single filter, we have to merge